At 6:14 a.m, the sky had just begun to turn pale grey, bearing the distinct chill of the early morning hours. You stewed by the kitchen stove while the coffee machine hummed softly. Rich, dark brown coffee dripped steadily from the spout. Before the warm, freshly brewed aroma had time to fill the room, it was abruptly cut off by a series of thunderous knocks. Thud, 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 thud. 3 deep, heavy blows landed precisely on the door. Their force was so intense that it felt as though the doorframe might split. The coffee spoon slipped from your hand and clattered onto the hard countertop. You froze instantly, unable to move. It felt like blood had frozen in your veins for a split second, before rushing wildly to your head. You heard your breath instinctively, creeping towards the door with steps so light and slow that they felt like walking on soft cotton, yet laced with the stabbing pain and trepidation of walking on razor blades. The instant you peered through the people, your heart felt as though it had been seized by an invisible giant's hand. Its violent thumping echoed, thump, thump, nearly drowning out every other sound around you. 2 figures stood outside the door, uniformed police officers. Their dark jackets, emblazoned with cold, stark insignia, stood out sharply in the dim morning light. Before you could recover from the shock, the knocking resumed. This time, it was heavier and more urgent, carrying an unyielding pressure that brooked no refusal. Open the door, boomed a deep, commanding voice through the wood. "We need to speak with you." In that very moment, her fate was sealed. The next 60 seconds, right here, right now, standing where you are, would determine the future of you and your entire family. You may successfully evade the crisis, walk away unscathed, and prepare breakfast as usual when the children awake, as if this abrupt knocking had never happened. Or you could find yourself handcuffed and taken to a detention centre by noon. Without even having time to say goodbye properly to your family, by Friday, you could be on a deportation flight, separated by oceans from the land where you fought hard to build a life and the family you love most forever. I must warn you, in the most serious tone possible, that when faced with such sudden situations, most people make fatal mistakes that can ruin their entire lives. Within the first 30 seconds alone, they commit 3 self-destructive actions: opening the security door, answering a question posed by the officer, and signing a document they don't fully understand. These 3 actions alone cause their cases to fail before they even enter the formal processing stage. But you are not like them. You will not become one of the majority. By proactively clicking on this video, you will be equipped with the knowledge to protect yourself. 3 critical phrases that must be articulated precisely, and 2 absolute risk boundaries that must never be crossed. These elements will determine whether you share dinner with your family or lose everything you possess. So, even if you have urgent matters at hand right now, I implore you to set them aside temporarily and listen carefully to every word I'm about to say. First, let me share some real data. 90% of immigrants who encounter these surprise inspections end up at a disadvantage. But remember this, their downfall isn't due to moral failings, illegal activities, or unworthiness to stay here. The real issue is their ignorance of the survival rules within this system. Meanwhile, the officers who arrive at your door have already mastered these rules inside out. They come prepared with pre-designed traps. Today, I will thoroughly deconstruct the logic behind these traps, empowering you to see through their tactics and avoid being caught out. The first trap to guard against is the deceptively friendly approach. Many people assume that immigration officers will be aggressive, banging on doors and shouting. In reality, they often appear calm and polite, making you believe they're just ordinary public servants seeking assistance. They might say through the door, "Hello, sir, madame. We just have a few simple questions. Could you help us?" We're looking for someone named Carlos Martinez. Is that you? Sounds simple enough, right? Just answer yes or no. Many people instinctively respond, thinking it's just a minor inquiry. But you have no idea that saying yes, that's me, could instantly reveal your identity, making it incredibly easy for them to carry out their task. This becomes the first crucial piece of evidence they use to target you for subsequent action. These officers undergo specialized psychological interrogation training and excel at exploiting people's vulnerabilities. They know exactly how to lower your guard and make you feel that cooperating with them is the safest and most convenient option. But I must make this clear. This friendliness is entirely feigned. Their true objective is to get you to cooperate with your deportation. The second trap involves document forgery, or more accurately, exploiting your blind spots in recognizing legal documents to manipulate you. Often, they'll slip a document under the door and declare, "This is a search warrant. We have the right to enter and inspect the premises." Most people panic at the sight of the words search warrant, assuming that it is a legally binding official document that demands compliance and the opening of the door. But I must solemnly tell you, this belief is completely wrong. Search warrants aren't uniform. In immigration enforcement scenarios, only one type of warrant grants officers legal authority to enter your residence. I will explain the distinction between the two types of search warrants in detail. You must commit this to memory. The first is an administrative search warrant, also known as an immigration search warrant. This type is issued by internal immigration officials, not judicial personnel. Although it may appear to be an official document, it lacks the legal authority to compel entry into your residence. In other words, unless you voluntarily consent, they have no legal grounds to enter your home, even with this type of warrant. The second type has true legal force, the judicial search warrant. This type of warrant must be signed by a sitting judge of a propping court and bear the judge's handwritten signature and the court's official seal. Only with such a judicial search warrant do officials possess the legal right to forcibly enter your residence. Therefore, identifying who signed the document is the key to distinguishing between these two types of warrant. If it is signed by an immigration official, it is an administrative search warrant without coercive power, and you have every right to refuse entry. If it is signed by a sitting judge, it is a legally binding judicial search warrant. If you panic upon seeing the words search warrant and voluntarily open the door, you are effectively surrendering your fundamental right for a piece of paper with no legal standing. They exploit your lack of knowledge about this distinction by using administrative search warrants to intimidate you into cooperating with them. The third trap involves pressuring you into signing documents. If they fail to open the door using the first two tactics, or if they have already subdued you, they will present you with a stack of papers and forms demanding your signature. They will often use a seemingly casual tone. "Don't worry, just sign here. This will wrap things up quickly. We don't want to waste your time." Please engrave this warning deep in your mind. Never sign any document without a professional lawyer present to guide you. I repeat, don't sign anything. Many people, momentarily confused, fall for their persuasive tactics and sign away their rights, only to regret it later. Among these documents, there will likely be a voluntary departure form once signed. You will be voluntarily relinquishing your right to remain in the country and abandoning all legal avenues to defend yourself. They will present these documents as routine procedural paperwork, making you believe that they are just a formality. In reality, it's a trap designed to make you surrender and admit defeat. Now that we have exposed all three traps, I will teach you in full detail the legal tools you can use to protect yourself. First, a disclaimer. This video is intended to provide educational information about your rights and does not constitute formal legal advice. If you are facing a specific legal situation, you should consult a professional immigration attorney. Additionally, regardless of your current immigration status or whether you possess valid documents, remember this. As long as you're on US soil, the US Constitution protects everyone here, including you. These legal provisions are your strongest shield. The first line of defense is the Fourth Amendment to the US Constitution. It explicitly states that law enforcement officers may not search a person's residence or arrest them without a valid search warrant or the individual's explicit consent. I urge you to carefully consider the key point here, or without the explicit consent of the individual. This means that Unless you actively give your consent and they present a judicial search warrant signed by a judge, they have no legal basis to enter your home. This is your inherent legal right, and no one has the authority to take it away. The second line of defense is the Fifth Amendment to the US Constitution. This amendment grants every citizen the right to remain silent, regardless of the questions asked of you, including those relating to your place of birth, date of entry into the United States, or current immigration status. You have the absolute right to refuse to answer. Never assume that remaining silent will make you appear suspicious. In fact, the opposite is true. Silence is not a sign of guilt. It is the lawful exercise of your rights and the best way to protect yourself from manipulation. The third line of defense is your right to legal counsel. At any time and in any location, you can state, "Before answering any questions you ask, I need to consult with my lawyer first." This statement is neither impolite nor illegal. It is the most rational and correct choice. Immigration officers are well aware of these legal provisions, but they are counting on your ignorance of your rights, hoping that your anxiety will cause you to forget them. Now that we've covered the theory, here's the action plan that could save your life. Memorize these steps. Practice them repeatedly right now, tonight. Teach them to everyone in your household, including the elderly and children. After all, you never know when such an emergency might strike. The most critical step is this. Under no circumstances, open the door. This door is your final line of defense against potential danger. You can communicate with people through the door or a window. There is absolutely no need to open it. The moment you open the door, the entire situation will change. They could peer through the crack to see inside your home, fabricating an excuse, such as seeing contraband, or even force their way in by wedging their foot against the door. Therefore, no matter what they say or do, you must hold the door shut firmly and never open it voluntarily. Step 2. With the door firmly closed, ask them this crucial question in a clear, loud, and firm tone. Do you have a search warrant signed by a judge? This must be stated clearly and unambiguously. If they answer no, or slip a document through the crack, carefully examine the signature on the document. If it is signed by an immigration official rather than an active judge, immediately state your position. I refuse to allow you into my residence. No further explanation or argument is necessary. If needed, calmly repeat this statement as many times as required. Step 3. Memorize this 3-word mantra for your safety. If they persist in asking questions through the door, whether about your name, identity, or anything else, respond with these words. I remain silent. Or more formally, I am exercising my legal right to remain silent. I demand to speak with my attorney. After stating these phrases, remain completely silent. Do not utter another word to them. You do not need to explain why you are remaining silent or offer any justification. Simply stating these 2 phrases clearly is sufficient. Step 4. Under no circumstances should you attempt to flee or lie. If they have a valid judicial search warrant signed by a judge, they will proceed with the arrest despite your refusal. Do not physically resist. Physical resistance serves no purpose and only provides grounds for additional charges. Do not give a false name or attempt to conceal any information. Lying will only worsen the situation, as they may use it as grounds to file additional criminal charges against you. What you must do is remain calm, persist in remaining silent, and repeatedly emphasize your demand to speak with a lawyer. Step 5. Reiterate this crucial point. Under no circumstances should you sign any documents. If they take you away or force their way into your home and presenting you with documents demanding your signature, give only one clear response. I will not sign any documents until I have spoken with my lawyer. No matter how much pressure they apply or what they say, such as signing will let you go home sooner, or signing will make everything okay, do not believe them. These are all tactics designed to deceive you. Once you sign, you lose the opportunity to defend yourself completely. Step 6. Prepare a list of essential contact numbers in advance. Find a reliable immigration lawyer or contact a legitimate legal aid organization. Write down their contact information and store it in your phone. Also write it down on paper and keep it in your wallet. Make copies for every adult in your household. If you are detained, you have the right to make one phone call. Use this call to reach someone who can genuinely help you. Don't waste it on meaningless conversations. In addition to home situations, you may also be stopped for checks on the street, at bus stops, or while driving. The rules for responding here are largely the same as at home, but there's one crucial question you must clearly ask. May I leave now? If they say yes, calmly turn around and walk away. There's no need to run or look back, just leave quietly. If they say no, your freedom has been restricted. Immediately state your position. I am exercising my legal right to remain silent. I refuse to be searched in any way. I demand to see my lawyer. After stating this, cease all communication with them, regardless of their actions. Do not cooperate in any way that could provide them with evidence that could incriminate you. Finally, let me share some heartfelt advice. Knowing your legal rights does not make you a criminal or raise suspicions, nor does it imply that you are hiding illegal evidence. It is a rational choice and an essential tool for protecting yourself and your family within this complex system. People who stumble around in this system every day aren't necessarily guilty of crimes. They simply lack awareness of the rights they should know about. Having watched this video, you now understand how to protect yourself better than 90% of people. But I have one request. Don't keep this valuable knowledge to yourself. Share this video with your mother, your brother, your cousin who immigrated here last year, and everyone you know who could benefit from this information. Share it in your community chat groups. Play it during family dinners so that everyone can learn these survival skills together, because in critical moments, knowledge is your strongest shield, the very barrier that protects your family's peace of mind. You'll never know when this video might prevent a family from falling apart. If you have found this video helpful, or if you think it could benefit your friends and family, please click the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell. I will continue to upload similar practical content to teach you more ways to protect yourself and your family. This will help you to live more safely and peacefully, ensuring that you always take the initiative in managing risks and stay one step ahead of those who try to deceive you. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.